I mean, we should make it different. Who?
Let's go back here. Come on, we're late. We're late.
We are late. Come on.
Anya. Hi guys, we're on our way for our duck tour. Late na kami. Goodbye. Guys, approaching our vehicle. Doctor.
Come from a long line of witches, originally from, can anybody guess where? One person? Salem, of course. Late 17th century Salem, during those witch trials, they were having a tough time telling which was which. So my coven, that's my family, decided to pack up their broomsticks and sweep on down here to Boston and start a new life. So we did that. We stashed away our pointy hats, we mothballed our broomsticks, we even dropped the T from our name just so we could blend in, having faith that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts would establish freedom of religion, speech, and assembly that we could all enjoy today. So we're going to talk about Boston's Freedom Fun and first, right? Freedom, it is the birthplace of the American Revolution. Part duck, part cat. I call him a dat, and that's a first. I also call him my familiar, and that's because I'm a witch. Everybody say hi to Bill. He's going to keep us safe on the roads and in the water. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Not talk to the driver. Just kidding. All right, let's get out of here. So where's everybody from? Where are you from? New York? Welcome. Same place. You know them? Oh, okay. How about you guys? Where are you from? Rochester. What? Connecticut. Welcome, neighbors. This group, where are you from?
North Carolina.
Carolinas. Just all North Carolina? Oh, this is all part of the Rochester group. How about you guys? Where are you from? With the camera, where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Welcome, Jersey. Next group in the back, where are you from? Yell it out. That is an Algonquin Indian word. Massachusetts tribe used this land. Summer hunting and fishing. That was it. Until 1625, when a reverend named William Blackston comes up here from a little town south of here called West Augusta. Today it's called Weymouth. And that settlement had failed. And this guy wanted to stay in the colonies because he disagreed with the Church of England. So he moves up to the Shawmut Peninsula and he settles in. He's happy living alone from 1625 to 1630. And then in 1630. All right, hocus pocus.
Quack, quack.
Try a little harder. Hocus pocus.
Quack, quack.
There you go. We see another duck, we do it. Other than that, you can do it all you want actually. But we do have some no quacking stuff. I know, weird, right? I know. Church? Yeah, one if I land, two if I see. There it is, way over there. April 18th, 1775 is when Paul Revere actually started his famous midnight ride. Most of the poem is not true, right? He was on a horse and his name was Paul Revere. Other than that, most of the poem is baloney. But he did go to the Old North Church and asked the sexton Newman to hold up two lanterns that can be seen from Cambridge and Charlestown. Rode across the harbor, borrowed a horse from a man named Deacon Larkin, started his famous midnight ride. Nobody ever said the British are coming because at the time everybody was still British. Half the countryside were loyalists. Yeah. All right. So the north end, right here. Right? That's original land, the oldest residential neighborhood. This is the oldest commercial block in the country. These glass towers are the Holocaust Memorial. This is called the Blackstone Block, after that guy, Reverend William Blackston, right? So you have the oldest continuously running tavern in the country here, and the oldest continuously running restaurant. They're called the Union Oyster House. If you like chowder or lobster, it's a good place to go. And then you got Faneuil Hall, right? This is the cradle of liberty. This is where the revolution began, literally. This is where John Adams, James Otis, Joseph Warren, John Hancock. This is where they talked about the revolution, right? 1742, this was the shoreline. This guy named Peter Faneuil gifted this building to the city because he wanted a place to sell his wares. He was a ship owner. He had a lot of stuff coming in and he wanted up on top. This is the original State House. This is the British State House. This is where the officials for the British government would basically read the new taxes and laws and rules to the people of Boston from the balcony until July 18, 1776. That's when we read the Declaration of Independence from that balcony. And we do that every single 4th of July at 10 a.m. One of the soldiers eventually got hit by a stick and his musket went off. His commander yells, "I told you men not to." Somebody over his shoulder heard a bell ring, and in those days that meant fire. So that person yelled the word fire. Nobody heard the bell, but everybody heard the word fire. Everybody was so wired they fired into the crowd, but it wasn't really after. It was an incident at best. 5 men lay dead or dying, and 5 more were injured until Sam Adams got a hold of it because he wanted revolution. So he goes to his buddy Paul Revere, who happens to own a printing press. Where would you go? Advertising, right? Old time advertising. And this is Tremont Street. It's original land. That street that we were just on and this one are all original. You notice they're kind of windy. And coming up on your left, you're going to have some dead people. Just saying. It's the oldest burying ground in Boston. This is called the King's Chapel Burying Ground. Lots of the Puritans are buried there. No, not yet. This is John Winthrop, the first guy. Now, something hiding underneath us. Oldest subway line to the oldest subway system in the United States. The MBTA. 14 in Massachusetts. We go from 650,000 people in the summer to over 1 million, and it all happens in 2 weeks when the students come back. It's torturous. So, New England College, New England Law, Boston, first law school. Doesn't take a chance. General George Washington. Yeah, people usually go, "That's Paul Revere." It's like, no, it's not. And you know who that is? His right-hand man. Hamilton. Yes, that's Hamilton. Your $10 bill, your $1 bill was sitting at $5 right here. Of America. 1877, it is called Richardsonian Romanesque. The city made an agreement with Trinity years ago. They would never let anything be built around it that could overshadow it. Really? Flash forward to 1972. Hey, let's build the tallest building in New England right next to it. We did, but look. Reflective panes of glass. Look at selfie. For all you people who like selfies, there you go. I love it. So it doesn't overshadow, it reflects, right? Sunlight into the altar, the Fairmont, Copley Square, Boston Public Library. Everything is reflected rather than overshadowed. Now the Fairmont's one of my favorite hotels because it's a dog-friendly hotel. There's actually a girl here named Cody Copley. She was here yesterday. It's the first time I've actually seen her. You'll see her little dog house. She's their ambassador. She was 5 months late getting here. You know why? It was on the Titanic. Still is. Just saying. All right, you're going to get a nice view of 2 things. The Boston Public Library's main branch on your left. It's a McKim White building, 1898, and the front of Trinity Church. So you're kind of in between 2 beautiful buildings. Now the library is the oldest public lending library system. That's the church. The new Old South Church, 1875. Venetian Gothic. Not Gothic. This is the first American style of architecture Europeans liked enough to want to copy. He didn't like Gothic. He liked his own style. Now, Trinity is the largest of all the churches in the Back Bay. She weighs a little over 10 million pounds. So what happens if we put 10 million pounds of stone on top of really soft, wet soil? Yeah, it'll start to sink, right? So before we built anything in the Back Bay, are they having a wedding designed by Louis Comfort Tiffany? This is not Tiffany jewelry. This is Tiffany jewelry's father, right? There are 16 of them, but there was supposed to be 20. See 2 clear glass here, same thing on the other side. He never finished the last 4 because he passed away. So they were like, maybe we'll just go with the 16 that we have, and they are beautiful. Now, I'm not sure whether yet you can go in and see them. They do tours, or they used to do tours. I'm guessing maybe by now you'll be able to get in with any of this kind of stuff. 65, 64, 63, 62. What happened to odd even? They knew when they were building Beacon Hill for the very wealthy, the Boston Brahmin, the Cabot's, the Lodges, the Lowells, they knew they couldn't build here. So they said, hey, can we just run the numbers right in order? That'll be fun. Let's do that. So they did. Brick sidewalks are original. Gas lanterns are original. And they're lit 24 hours a day because it's cheaper. And try to find yourself a lamplighter. Yeah, nobody wants to do that job. So, lavender panes of glass. Keep your eyes open. It is heavily collectible because it is from the 1800s, from the original homes. Too much manganese oxide was put in the glass mixture in Germany before they shipped it over here. Sunlight turned it lavender. Beautiful. You'll see a few in this home right here. Our frog pond on your right. That sits on top of one of the original springs from the Shawmut Peninsula. In the wintertime, it's an ice rink. Normally in the summer, they would fill it with water and kids would be splashing around. don't know if they're going to do it this year, but we hope so.
Anya, come back
Today,
here.
Beacon Hill is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the United States. Median home right now is running $13 to $18 million here. Parking space a couple of years ago was $375,000 to park your car. Not a lot of parking space. John Terry, our former Secretary of State, has a home right up there in Lewiston Square. He's married to the Heinz ketchup fortune. He can afford it. However, you cannot change a paint color or a doorknob inside or out without talking to the Hysterical Society. Not what I meant to say. The Historical Society, but they're the same thing. All right, now, this land was owned by John Hancock. Anyone ever heard of all of his children? Had a copper sheeting mill. He covered it in copper. Today, it is covered in gold. This is our seat of government. Bullfinch designed it. The wings were added during World War I, and the wings in the back during World War II. My favorite. Look at that lady sitting on a bench right there, Mary Diamond. What does it say under her name? Quaker, hanged on Boston Common by the Puritans, just for being a Quaker, but witness to religious freedom. North Slope was one of the largest free black communities before and during the Civil War. So Massachusetts abolished slavery in 1781. Way before the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, this was a huge community. You break down barriers and open up the world through education and language. What better than a piece of that to make that point? Love it. All right, now, North End Normal. We've North End Normal, South End Sarah, Symphony Howard, Red Sox Basic, Capilano, on and on. 28 of these bad boys, largest collection, largest fleet in the world of the UKWs for tourism right here. Look at those guys on the ramp. That's kind of cool, actually. I love these guys. So that goes all the way over into Charlestown, into Paul Revere Park. It's kind of neat. It's all part of the, that's all part of the freedom trail. All right, get ready to do a little quacking. This is Mallard Storm. Oh yeah, we will definitely be louder than that. You ready? Act like you don't care. We don't care. How you doing? Hocus Pocus! Now he's going to give you a nice. So all he's going to do is change up the lights. Put on the propeller. Put us in low. Basically, it's a low drive.
Properly, so you can see. Come here. Hold, Mama.
Somebody's coming through. You'll see that yellow bridge go up. Somebody's coming from the harbor. What are we doing? Focus, focus! Excellent. This is a good quacking group, I think.
Yay, we're in the water now.
Welcome to the Charles River, everybody. You're gonna get a pretty good selfie coming up on your left for anybody who cares. Are there babies here? Oh, he's getting big though. Every day he's getting bigger. Oh, you're gonna see lots of them. Ooh, look at that. Selfies. Yay. Give me some good selfies. All right, so this guy right here, I want you to look at him. See this boat? He is going under these bridges, and he's doing it because he wants to get to the harbor, right? So the harbor is over there. It is between 6 and 10 feet lower than the river at low tide. So how is he going to actually get there? They shut the doors, you tie off your boat, they raise or lower you with these huge pumps, and they open up the end and let you out. We're actually going through a lock. We're going to go through the old one. It is not a working lock anymore. If you remember, I said this used to be the harbor. All of this was the harbor, right? This was salt water. Not anymore because of the new locks. This guy's fishing. Are they just hanging? Yeah, they're just hanging. Ouch. That's what anchors are for. All right, now, Charles River was named for Prince Charles. Ever heard of him? Yeah, it's not him. It's a different one. 1613, John Smith. Anyone ever heard John Smith? Pocahontas fame, right? Came up here from Virginia and charted out the East Coast. He's the guy that named New England, New England. Before this time, we were just part of Virginia on the charts. Takes the charts back across the pond to King James, and they get there, and King James' son is Charles. And they start naming everything after themselves. The river is 80 miles long. It's just awesome. Ducks and geese is one, pigeons, seagulls, grackle, my favorite, called a double-crested cormorant. It's a diving fowl, probably think so. I'm a little hocus pocus. This is pretty cool. sale a couple of years ago. I looked at it. It's called Let It Be. Yeah, yeah. Somebody just bought this a couple of years ago. I wanted it bad. He only wanted 60 for it. 60. It's old and it's wood, but I love it. I would live on that in the New York City. No problem at all. This is the upper basin of the Charles River. So, on your left is Boston in Suffolk County, and on your right is Cambridge in Middlesex County. The river is the border between the two. Now, in 1630, that was called Shawmut, and this was called Newtown, and that's because it was the newer of the towns, not by much. 1630, same time, Puritans settled over Newtown, and they were very well educated. And in 1636, they thought maybe they would open a school for higher learning, and they did. They called it the College at Newtown. And then in 1638, this guy named John, he wrote a poem saying, "Here I am on my back in the old mill pond with nothing on but my invention." Picture that. Or don't. Yeah. You gotta love Mill. So this used to be a lot wider. You could go all the way to the hospital by water. You could go another quarter of a mile into Cambridge. 1846, first use of ether changed our lives. There is a museum inside the hospital called the Ether Dome. It is awesome. And nobody ever goes to it because it's actually in the hospital. It's a surgical theater laid out exactly the way it would have been. It's the first medical x-ray was taken here. The machine was German. It was done good. Longfellow wrote the poem, "All Rivier's Ride." Listen, my children, you shall hear. Now, before we lose it, the guy who brought the 150 Puritans over here, his name was John Winthrop, and he wrote a letter and sent it home and said, "I will look later." The Hat Shell, that's where the Boston Pops were born. New Year's Eve, go to New York. 4th of July, you want to be here. We read the Declaration of Independence, right, from the porch of the old State House. Then about the, I'm going to see if I can remember them. Give me a second. I got you, right? They would do, well, D was for the year, 4th of the alphabet, 4th year of the war. 1942 is when they were designed. U, this young, so they added his name to represent our president, and the big pig is the future. Look at all those double-crested cormorants. That means the fish are running through here into the harbor. Now we do light up the bridge. The cable stays actually glow at night, depending on what's going on. In March it was green. April would go for the Boston Marathon. June, multicolored for Pride. 4th of July, red, white, blue. October, pink, breast cancer awareness month. 7 years ago, Prince died. What color was the bridge? That was beautiful, actually. All right, front wheels are spinning. Back four have been spinning all along. He has to turn these on to do this. This is what this was designed to do. Well, the coral reefs are sand dunes. They can do this. All right, how about a round of applause for Phil? Good job. Don't try this at home. It's going to be a bad idea. All right, we got a couple of ducks. We're going to do a little quacking because we get to be the loudest. So he basically takes on the lights, turns on the propeller, puts us in regular drive, and we're out of here. That's Bobby Orr. That's O-A-R, Orr. All right. Focus, focus! Hi, Bob. What's happening? Who else do we have? Oh, the fishermen. Get ready. I'm going to blow them out of the water, too. Can't stand this guy.
They don't see us yet.
Focus, focus!
Oh, you guys won.